If you really analyze yourself and look deep within and be open and honest with yourself, take your ego, kind of set it off to the side, and let's figure out what's underneath the hood of me that I could do a little bit better, make a strength even stronger. Identify your weaknesses. A lot of people don't know their weaknesses. There's still weaknesses about me that I haven't figured out yet. I know they're there.
What's up, everybody? We're here live in beautiful Costa Rica, and I'm here with our #1 salesperson in the world, David Jacox. He does a fantastic job for us. Two years ago, for the entire year, you were #1.
Yep.
Dave has been with our company for 5 years.
Yep.
He's just killed it since the beginning. He, a year ago, was not #1. Somebody else stepped up into that spot, but this year he's #1 year to date. So welcome, Dave.
Yeah, well, thank you. Thank you. It's great to be here. So, yeah.
Anyway, so Dave has a long history, and we're going to get into that first. So I'd like for you to tell a little bit about what you did before you joined our company, and then we'll jump into what you're doing now.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So I worked for a beer industry. Did that for 13 years. Thought it was.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I thought it was going to be my career, honestly. I was doing pretty good. I was a top salesman there multiple years, and I became a manager and was pretty successful in managing and training and, handling logistics, trying to figure out ways to make the business more efficient, things like that. Was pretty happy, but I kind of hit my ceiling, and then just by off chance, someone who I knew that was here, talked me into taking a chance here, and I've never looked back.
Right.
And overall happiness level is so much better. My income level is so much better, and it continually have this ability to keep growing and getting better and better and better. And that's what's really intriguing to me. It's like a constant mental challenge that you can keep working to get yourself to the next level, the next level, and beyond.
That's one thing I know about you is that you're constantly striving just to take things to the next level. You're always figuring out things about, mindset and what you can do to almost trick your mind, trick your brain into that, stretching yourself to that next level of thinking.
Yeah.
And so maybe, I think my first question would be really, how important is mindset to sales and being a top performer? Because you were a top performer in your previous company. You said you continually wanted to stretch and grow and take things to the next level. You jumped in here, a couple of years later, bam, you're at the top here, and you're stretching and growing, your income continues to grow. So let's talk a little about mindset.
Yeah, sure. I really think that's a great question, because mindset is really one of the most important aspects of this entire job. Sometimes it can seem really easy, sometimes it can be really difficult, sometimes it could be anywhere in between. And if you don't have that tough mindset to push through those challenging times, you will falter, or you will start to become overwhelmed. You will start to think like, hey, maybe this isn't for me. But it's a simple thing, and it's very cliche, but whenever I'm going through a tough spot, like say I go like 4 or 5 homes in a row without a deal, you almost start to feel like, shoot, have I lost it? Am I never going to get a deal again? And there's this simple saying that we've all heard before, but when the going gets tough, the tough get going. And I literally tell myself that. It's like, okay, well, what, did I think I was going to get them all?
Yeah.
But
you do, kind of, because
there's
in sales,
been days. There's been days, but
I don't mean you get them all, but a good salesperson almost thinks they're going to get them all.
Right, correct.
When you don't, it surprises you almost.
It really does sometimes. It really does. And so, like, having that tough mindset and just being able, imagine you're a boxer or something. Like if you get punched in the face once and you're out, like you're not a very good boxer. You got to be able to take those hits and just like, okay, all right, let's go. Come on.
Bounce off.
Yep. And it comes down to having that mindset. It really does.
We call it an unstoppable mindset.
I like it.
So nothing can stop me.
Nothing can stop me. Yeah.
Whatever it takes. And
the only thing that can stop me is me. And so there you go.
That's it. Yeah, absolutely. All right. So my next question to you would be on handling rejection, and that I guess that kind of goes along with it, because you get the no's that you're talking about.
Yeah.
And so you're going to have people that tell you no, and so when you get those rejections, how do you handle them?
Yeah. So that's a great question too. Really, first things first. When you get that rejection, you got to know, like, don't believe them when they say no.
Right.
Because sometimes they're just trying to wiggle out.
Yes.
And if you're covering all the bases and you can provide, empathy to their reasoning why, and then come up with another solution, and then, you can overcome those objections. And sometimes it might take overcoming 4 objections, like if you've overcome 4 or 5 and you can't get the sale, then, okay, this person ain't buying.
Yeah.
But those objections are going to happen, and you just have to, there's an old saying too, you probably know this very well, that every no gets you closer to a yes.
Right.
And so, all these things are kind of tied in together, having that strong mindset and being able to handle rejection and being able to overcome the objections.
Yes.
And knowing, when you can get some, and sometimes those objections, like, hey, you know what? We're not going to get the entire package.
Right.
But then that's when, like, you're problem solving and you quick on your feet and you realize, oh, hey, I can come in this angle and get like an Aero Pro. I can come in from this angle and get a seal and a fan. Like, there's so many options that we have at our disposal. And it really comes down to how complex and creative you want to get.
Right.
And realize that there's no limit to how complex and creative you can get. You got to tap into it, and it takes a lot of practice, and it takes asking people like you questions, people like John Shanks questions, it really comes down to what you get out of this, what you put into it.
Yeah. And no is not always a no.
Correct.
Sometimes it just means they need more information.
Right.
Or they need
Okay.
different, different information.
Yep, exactly.
And so you're really in sales, what you're doing is you're helping them. And the best close is usually a good question.
Okay.
Do you have a favorite close?
I have a dialed down close that is my number one weapon. Yes.
Pull it out and share it with us.
Okay.
Or let's play a scenario.
My
maybe.
entire close, like, okay, I got it down to 2.5 minutes, but okay, like, so I sit down at the table. This is me giving out my secrets here, but so I sit down at the table, whether I think it's a lay down, whether I think there's no way they're going to buy, whether it's a jump ball, that close will tip them towards the right angle for me anyway. Yes. And so, what I'll say, my presenter is Lewis, and I'd be like, I know Lewis did a good job last night, but I just want to do a quick recap. What we offer is the best and most advanced insulation that's ever been made. It is 97% reflective. And what that means, as you can tell by my face, it's really hot up there, right? Coming down from those attics. Well, that heat is the enemy. It's cooking your roof. It's constantly coming into your home. It's the biggest part of what makes our homes so hot in the summer. So by covering your attic floor with the MLI, you are actually reflecting 97% of the heat and keeping it from ever even coming into your home. So how that lowers your bill so much, Billy? You end up having many more days during the summer where you don't even need to have your air conditioner on because your home is already cool and comfortable compared to out there. Now, there will still be days that you use your AC. But what happens is, instead of it running all day long, you just cool the home one time, and then it stays cool for much, much longer because you're no longer constantly fighting 140-degree heat that's just on the other side of that ceiling. Boom. Something along those lines.
The best close is a good presentation.
Yeah.
And you have a good presenter, Lewis.
Yep.
But
He
then
creates
when you
the magic.
He creates the magic. Then when you got there, basically what you did is you just put the ownership into their hands. So you took it from being an insulation, now you put it inside of their home.
Correct.
And now they just almost took ownership. So it's almost impossible at that point for them to tell you no if you just follow through.
So many things. And so the way I see it is that Lewis creates the magic, the presenter creates the magic. From the moment they leave, that magic starts dwindling.
Yes.
Starts dwindling. My job is to pick it back up.
So we call that the law of diminishing intent. Because
Okay.
what happens
Yeah.
is when someone sees a sales presentation, they're super excited. They know all of the information about it. They're fired up about it. But every hour that goes by, their chance of buying and remembering everything goes down.
Correct.
Within 24 hours, they've forgotten 50% of what they heard.
Yep.
Within 48 hours,
I
they've forgotten
100% believe
70 to 80%
Yeah,
of what they heard. So what you did is you just re-established the main things back inside
Recreated
of their mind.
the excitement
You created
for
that
it.
excitement
Yes.
back
Yep.
for them at the moment. So now all you really got to do
And-
is
and-
ask for the order.
And I got to say
I
this
sit out
too.
and ask for the
I
order.
got to say this too. When I was taught, they said, expect that no is always coming. But if you got a good presenter and you touch all the correct bases when you're in that home,
Yes.
2/3 of the time it's not a no, it's hey, how do I figure out how to afford it?
Yes.
1/3 of the time is it's a battle. But if
Yes.
you're doing all the right things all the way across the board, it gets a lot easier.
It does,
But it
and it
takes
makes the
time.
customer experience that much better, because a lot of people feels like that sales is the latest power close. It's I'm going to go in there, I'm going to overcome the objection, I'm going to make them get it. I'm just going to, give my latest slick, deal to get them to buy.
Yeah.
But frankly, much better than that is following a sales process, this journey
100%.
that gives the customer the ultimate experience.
Yeah.
And at the end, it creates the win-win situation.
Yes.
And what you've created is a win-win situation. And you believe that, and
Yeah.
you're transferring that, and then you're getting a win-win result at the end.
And I think you touched on something there too. I think the days of the slick salesman coming in, that worked great in the 80s and 90s.
Right.
I think that's changed. So my perspective now is coming in very genuine. I'll let them know what we can't do for them.
Right.
I'll let them know what's looking great up in their attic. I don't just come down and say, oh, it's a train wreck. Sometimes it is.
Yes.
But, if it's not,
Yeah.
I let them know, I come in as a true consultant. So,
Yes.
so I'm building that trust, building that rapport with them. And then so when I tell them what my recommendation is, they have more faith in me.
Yes.
And, cancels do happen once in a while, but I would say, at least from the perspective that I know of other salesmen, I know me and Lewis have the lowest amount of cancels, and I think
Yes.
it comes down to the genuineness and that we come across, and we don't come across as sleazy snake oil
Sure.
salesman or something. We're just coming at people trying to help.
You're building trust.
Building trust,
So
yeah.
you've come across as you positioned yourself
Yeah.
from beginning to end. You set yourself up as the trusted expert.
Yep, that's what we do. Yep.
And then in turn, now you're into a point where you develop rapport.
Yep.
As long as you develop rapport, you set yourself up as the trusted expert, then it's really just a transition of helping them get
Exactly.
what they
Yep.
already want.
And I do got to say, go in that attic and find the pain.
Right.
Don't just peek your head in there. Oh, yeah, you need this. You go up there, you spend, even if it's 5-10 minutes, and you take
Yeah.
pictures. The way I make the joke, anything I find up there can and will be used against them.
Right.
In the way to help lead them towards a better life, a better experience in their home, a lower utility bill, a healthier home.
Yeah.
All these things are important. They just, we have to lead them that way.
Yep.
Yeah.
Position yourself as the trusted expert.
Yep.
Take them on the journey.
Yeah.
And create a win-win situation.
Exactly.
You made a little bit of money.
Yep.
And they've got something that's going to help them
For the rest of their
forever,
lives.
For the
Yep.
rest of their lives.
Exactly.
So that's awesome. How about numbers? The importance of playing the numbers, knowing your numbers,
Yeah.
improving your numbers. You're a numbers guy.
I am.
I know it.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
so share some stuff about numbers, man.
Yeah, it comes back from kind of like my managerial experience back in the day, like tracking, what gets measured gets improved.
Yes,
and
I like that.
And so that's something that I really believe in myself. I can go back and look at what my average square footage is by year, by month, and the nice thing about that is when I try something new in my let's call it my game,
Yes.
I can kind of track and see over an extended period of time, has my closing percentage gone up? Has my square footage gone up? Has it gone down? If you're not tracking that, well,
Yes.
hey, if I've gone 3 weeks, my square footage has gone up 2,000 feet a week. You know what? I'm going to keep that.
Right.
You know what I
Yes.
mean? But if you're going in there blind, you might be missing low-hanging fruit that, just like a little tweak here could add thousands of feet to your square footage, or a little tweak that you're doing here wrong is diminishing and not allowing you to have that consistency, but it's really just a small calibration tweak. You really got to, track those numbers. I recommend it completely.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's patterns for success and there's patterns for failure. That's
Yes.
for sure.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
but you can't, how do you know where you're going if you don't know where you're at?
Yep.
If you don't know where you've been.
Correct.
And of course,
Yeah.
if you don't know where you want to go.
Yeah.
What about goal setting?
Goal setting, yeah. So, goal setting is very important. My goal is to be number one. My goal is to do better than I did the previous year. Those are my goals, and my goals are to hit a certain square footage every week, all the way down into the home. The day of a certain percentage that I want to hit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you set financial goals for the year, for the quarter, or
I
are you
will.
mostly just setting a goal to be better than you were yesterday?
It's just better than yesterday. Better than yesterday for me.
Yeah.
And the techniques that I've been using have allowed me to, in 5+ years, my square footage has gone up every year.
Yeah.
In fact, even this year, it's the highest it's ever been.
Wow.
You know, and I still see areas that I can improve on in myself that I expect next year to be even better.
Because you're constantly analyzing your
Yes,
performance.
yes, that is 100% one of the most important things that we need to be doing in this industry, in my opinion.
So my final question, before we talk about Costa Rica,
Okay.
is
Yeah.
what separates, or what do you feel separates the superstars, the elite performers, those top 1%ers from the rest of the pack?
Okay. Yeah. So, great question. And a couple things, and one of them is what I just talked about is the analyzation, self-analyzation. You know, don't, you know, hey, I had a good week, 20,000 feet. Don't let your foot off the gas and have a 4,000 foot week the next week, or whatever the case may be. Like, analyze what got you to that 20,000 feet. Analyze every week if you can. You know, hey, I should have got that one house. What did I do wrong?
Yeah.
You know, assume you did something wrong. That's what I do. When I don't get a sale, I assume I did something wrong. So even, you know, but then I'll go through all the things that are, you know, if I check off all the boxes, like, hey, I had a good fundamentals. Okay, that one really was an unsellable.
Developed rapport.
Yeah, developed rapport, found the pain, worked with them, you know. But you know, if you just kind of get to a point where, hey, I'm selling this much every week and I'm having a good living, I can kind of take my foot off the gas pedal and go on autopilot. You're missing out on the opportunity to continue to improve and improve and improve and improve. And that's kind of why I think why my record shows, you know, averaging 8,000 feet my first year all the way up to, you know, 16,000+ feet right now.
Right.
You know, like last year it was like 13,000 feet. So I still see these areas to improve. Hopefully next year it'll be like 18,000 feet or whatever the case may be. But that analyzation, introspective thinking, and the other thing is work ethic, drive, get to all your appointments. You know what? You had a great week and it's Friday and you got 3 leads left, but you've already hit 15,000 feet and you're happy. You know what's better than 15,000 feet? 16,000 feet. Go hit those 3 leads and get, you know, see what else is out there. You know what I mean? You know, there was a home that I walked into a couple years ago. Knocked on the door like any other home. Guy opens up the door. He ended up buying $55,000 worth of product. I had already been having a really good week up until that point.
Right.
You know, like, and his name was Maury, and I always tell Lewis, like, any door could be a Maury.
Right.
You know, like
Yes.
you
remember Maury?
Yeah, you can't just skip a lead or you know, I mean, you get out of this what you put into it. And there's no limit to the commission. There's no limit to the success. So why would you not keep the foot to the gas pedal?
So it's a little bit extra.
Yeah. Even when you're tired, it's
you're
hot.
tired.
You know, I worked 12 hours today, or you know, sometimes you only work 2 hours in a day. You know, but when
appointment that stood you up, that
when those days require you to work a long time, that's every one of those cards that you get is an opportunity to make $1,000.
yeah,
Yeah. What are you going to do with that opportunity?
right. Some people goes home, the elite performers.
Yeah,
They stay to the work's
not me.
done, a little bit more.
I'm trying to make money, trying to provide for my family, trying to you know provide for everybody. You know, like yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people always ask me, you know, Billy, what does it take to get a competitive edge? And it's really, I believe, is do everything your competition does and a little bit more. Do something every day your competition don't or won't, and improve every day. Do something every day that moves you
makes you a
closer
little
to
bit
your
better.
dream, or something every day that you can improve your performance and improve your game. And Brian Tracy told me this years ago. He's written over 50 books. He's one of the top speakers, trainers, and legendary.
Yeah.
And I was having lunch with him, and he said, he said the good thing is there's no limit to how much better you can become.
Correct, 100%.
So it's like as good as you get, as good as you are today, you're number one in the world. You're kicking everybody's ass. You're just out, doing it every day, making it happen. but you can get better.
Absolutely.
And you know you can get better.
Yes, yes,
And
yes.
you want to get better.
And I want to get better. Yeah, and I really think people should, sometimes in our culture we kind of just assume we have all the answers, or sometimes, I'm doing good. Like I got to figure. I got it, boss. I got it. I know what I'm doing. Dude, if you really analyze yourself and look deep within and be open and honest with yourself, take your ego, kind of set it off to the side, and let's figure out what's underneath the hood of me that I could do a little bit better, make a strength even stronger, make a weakness, identify your weaknesses. A lot of people don't know their weaknesses. There's still weaknesses about me that I haven't figured out yet. I know they're there.
Right.
I know they're there. I'm still trying to find them. But whenever there's some weaknesses I had when I first started here that are now my strengths.
So you turned them from weaknesses into strengths.
Correct.
Most people, though, don't want to look that direction, and I call it admit and commit. First
Admit
of all,
and
you got
commit,
to admit, I've got to
Admit
admit
and commit.
I've got this weakness.
Yeah, yeah.
And once you acknowledge
And
it,
it's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
we can't just overlook it. It's there. You can't say there's no weeds in the garden when there's weeds in the garden. You got to go to the garden and pull the weeds out of the garden.
100%. Yeah.
Some people go, there's no weeds in the garden.
Yeah.
Yes, there's weeds in the garden.
There you go, buddy.
Pull
Yeah.
the weeds. So admit, man, I got this issue. I got this problem. I got this thing that's holding me back.
Yep.
And once you're willing to admit it, then you could commit to doing something about it. And if you'll commit to doing something about it and do something every single day, then boom, there's no limit.
There you go.
To what can happen.
Yeah.
The possibilities
100%.
are there. So we're just getting started.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, just getting started.
I think you're just getting started.
I would say so.
In
Yeah.
your sales career and all the things and the possibilities that the future has to offer. So
I think so.
Before we talk about Costa Rica, any final words?
Well, I guess just thank you for the opportunity. This industry has changed my life. I'm in Costa Rica, by the way. I didn't pay for this. I'm just here enjoying the awesomeness because, it's been great. And it's not just about looking within, though. It's also asking questions. There's so many people, so many great resources here. I tell you what, I ask questions all the time. I used to drive John Shanks crazy about all the questions I would ask him, just trying to figure out ways to get to that next level, So look inward and outward. That would be my advice.
And when you're at a meeting like this, or not say a meeting, a hangout. You're around a lot of other elite performers.
Correct.
Top
Yes.
performers, people that are doing it, rocking it, making it happen at their own level, in their own game. They're doing different things and playing a key role wherever they're at, in the business. But when you're around these types of people, what happens?
Everybody gets better. Everybody gets better. Yep.
And so
because everybody here can teach everyone something. You know what I mean? Like there's even I rode with the newer guy last week. And my goal was to train him. I learned 2 things from him. You know what I mean? Like every single person can teach us all something. There's a big, complicated world out here. Let's go enjoy it and learn the most we can.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome because if you ask the right people the right questions, what are you going to get?
The right answers.
You're going to get the right answers, and then the key is to implement what you learn.
Write down.
If it works. So we're always adapting and implementing. So
there you go.
So how are you enjoying Costa Rica?
I mean,
what do you think about this resort? All inclusive.
It's unbelievable. I mean, it's unbelievable. We've been going down to the beach. We've been getting massages. We've been going on adventures. We're going kayaking later. We're doing, monkeys. We got big, giant green lizards running around, all different types of crabs. We got, we had to rescue a crab that fell in our pool the other day. Yeah.
Have you been to Costa Rica before?
No.
First time ever?
First time, yeah.
And this is like out in this serene little cove, whatever.
Paradise. It's what I would call paradise.
Yeah. So it's unbelievable. But I think that is the rewards for just doing a good job. Just getting out there and you got to have fun.
Got to have fun,
Celebrate your successes.
I always say about my career, my job here, I love going to work. I love going home. I love going on our vacations. Like, how many Americans get to say they love going to work? You know what I mean? Like that's the opportunity that has been provided for me, and man. And then this is like icing on the cake,
And our company is about that. I mean, we're about, and I've just embodied that myself. It excites me seeing people come in the business, do well, continue to grow, unlimited income. The sky's the limit. And nobody can tell you what to do. Nobody can tell you how to do it.
Nobody can tell
you when you're going to do
no
it.
boss
And
hanging over your shoulder.
No boss tell. As a matter of fact, the higher people here, they're wanting to see you do better.
Right.
It only-
Yeah.
it only helps them.
It's such
So
a
everybody's people
positive,
helping people.
positive environment here, like positive culture. I used to work in a corporate America business for 13 years, and how all the politics, all the stuffiness, all the rigorous. Hey, you get 2 weeks of vacation a year, like that kind of thing. And now it's like free. You know what I mean? And just having a great time, man. I love it.
Awesome, awesome. Well, this is David Jacox. The sky's the limit. I just want to tell everybody out there, whatever you dream, you can do it. I think most of us, our biggest problem is we just don't dream big enough. And so, whatever it is you want to be, whatever it is you want to do, whatever it is that you want to have, you absolutely can do it. And David is one of these guys that's just out there every day showing us
Hey,
how
man.
to do it.
Thanks for
and
the
making it happen.
opportunity.
So we appreciate you being on here, man.
Yeah,
We're gonna
man, no
celebrate
problem.
Party tonight.
Yes, we are.
All
Yep.
right.